It's Julesy who giving you the bang look. Okay, this is this. I know people ask me about the hair, so let's just do this real quickly. Kinky straight only hair. This is the same wig I have had forever, and every time you see me with like my Michelle Obama wig, but the lace was balding, and I was like, oh, let me just cut some bangs in it. Now, typically I wear it much cuter than this because usually I have it like curled all the way, and I'm giving you lots of like suburban mother with a Toyota CR-V tease, but today we're just giving you college student who Villanova, no, but college, my best friend went here, which is why I have a Villanova basketball shirt, because he played for Villanova basketball. Like, but I just look like a college student who did like an all-nighter, like I'm like a law student or something, you know, grad student, maybe one day soon. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna do a review of the BET Awards. It's gonna be a little janky. I don't have my normal mic, so if you hear like a clicking, it's just because it catches, it's my Rode mic, and so it catches the my lens autofocusing. So if you hear some sort of clicking or like okay, sorry. I'm probably still not gonna get this up until Sunday, even though I'm recording this on Wednesday night because I'm traveling tomorrow and Friday. So I want to talk about some outfits first. And this is what I'm trying to do though, because the interesting thing is it's always easier to be shady and to be negative and to be petty and like dig into someone versus like uplift. And I actually overall think that for BET, this was a really good, entertaining show. Like, I wasn't mad that I watched it. I'm not a big TV person. I watched it the day after it aired because I saw so much conversation happening and I saw so many videos. I'm like, oh, these are really good performances. Let me just go ahead and watch the whole show. And I was thoroughly entertained for the entirety, and it was a long show. I feel like it was almost 3 hours. And I was pretty entertained for the duration of the award show. But I did want to talk about some of the outfits, not because I wanted to rate the outfits, but I wouldn't have any other place to talk about it during the review because these people don't get featured again during the show because they don't win. But Sweetie, and so Sweetie's outfit in particular is, Sweetie can't rap, you know, that XXL, woo. What was she like auditioning for the freshman cover? You know, Tierra Whack. Was Tierra Whack at the BET Awards? She should have been. Did she get nominated for something? She should have. Did she win for something? I don't know, bruh. Tierra Whack is that bitch. Tierra Whack ate a bag of chips like she was Jay Versace. And Sweetie thought she did something with her raps. Like, Sweetie, girl, like literally, Sweetie. Ooh.
To be a 2019 freshman because I talk a lot of shit these bitches can get with. I talk a lot of shit like I got a big dick. I pull up in the skirt, hit you with the stick shift.
In hell, nigga. Burning hell, nigga.
Now he got a one-on-one. If you fuck it up, then he ain't.
Sweetie raps like I rap. I don't have the banging body. I don't have the nice tits and ass and no gut and tuck waistline to be a rapper. And I feel like if we are really gonna say that's my type, that's my type, that's my type, then I'm about to start my rap career. I'm gonna find my waistline and start my rap career. But I think what we like Sweetie for is for Quavo. And we like her because she's pretty, and I like her because of the memes. I have some memes of her saved on my phone, particularly her in the fur coat was my thing. But that outfit, the I Dream of Jeannie outfit, was just 5 ways to tacky. There were a lot of great outfits, so I think overall people looked really nice. I was loving Yara Shahidi's outfit. Marseille Martin, that's my daughter, that's my child. I did not birth her, but I just feel like, I don't know how are you, like, I know her parents are proud, but like, I would just be, it's like, you know, like, I would just every day be like, wow, I did that. Like, that's mine. Like, that's me. And I'm just like, I'm so blessed, and I'm living my life through all the blessings that came out of my uterus. Look at that. Megan Thee Stallion. Now, we know it's hot girl. It's real hot girl shit. It's hot girl summer, whether you booed up or not. You know, be the hot girl you always dreamed of being. But I would just like, I agree with a lot of people. I would like Meg to like get a better stylist, because I really think it could move her career forward. And I know she has a black guy college student that's her stylist, but she's giving me a lot of WWE 1993 vibes. She's giving me a lot of, you know, when we were in middle school and we would draw our own outfits and we just cut it out in random places, because like if you grew up in the late 90s, like cutting it out in random places was like the in thing to do, and like customizing your basketball jerseys and stuff. I feel like that's how she dresses. I'm not opposed to her showing her skin and her body, but for reference, I actually think what Colin Carter, is that his name, has done with Cardi B has really helped elevate, even aside from what we talk about light skin privilege and all that stuff with Cardi and whatever. I think part of her team, you have to acknowledge that her team does a lot of good work. I think in that they cultivate this, that she's very authentic to her stripper past, but also putting her in some really classic pieces. And like, I very rarely have I ever, like, maybe her Met Gala, or no, what was it, the Mugler thing she did, was that the Grammys, where she looked like an oyster? I didn't really care for that, but even that, because there was so much thought and presentation put into that, and there was a whole story behind that piece, that I couldn't even hate it that much. I didn't care for the look. But that's probably like one of the only times like I've seen Cardi be like, So she, you know, she shows the skin. She be shaking that fake booty all over up and down the stage. She be lip rap singing all she want. But I do think the way that her styling team, and particularly Colin, whatever his last name is, has come in and really taken a hold of her style and showed her to be such a malleable style icon, has really helped elevate Cardi's career. And I just wish the same for Meg, because I think she got it. I love it. I am cautious of personally praising her body too much, because I love that it is all natural. I love that we know she works out for it. We know she juices, she detoxes. She be trying the vegan thing, girl, bless your heart. While trying to drive the boat, she got them good under 30 dreams, because we can't be driving the boat and trying to still find our waistline in our 30s. It's just some of us aren't built like that. But also realizing that I don't want to put into the stigma that, oh, natural, we can only celebrate natural bodies when they are packaged with big ass, small waist, big tits. Like, you're naturally, like, she don't really need work. And I don't know, if she was to get work, what would she get done? Like lipo? Just to tighten it up a little bit? Like, I don't even know what she would get done that wouldn't look outrageous. And please stop talking about her black ass nose, y'all. Y'all disrespectful. But I want her style to be elevated. It's not that I want less skin. I just want, I want more diversity. I want more thoughtfulness. I want a story behind what she's wearing. And I want her to slay that shit. And because we love you, real hot girl shit, okay? That was real hot girl tea. Let's get into the sports. So speaking of Cardi B and, what, not Quavo, not Takeoff, Offset. I was like running the blank. What's this nappy Negro's name? Offset and Cardi B opened the awards with their two not great songs. Clout, Do Everything for Clout. I do everything for clout. They did Clout and Press. They're not really songs that I care for at all, but again, Cardi's team gathering Offset and making him do some choreography, I can appreciate that, because she does do a good show. I just wish she didn't lip sync. But I will say that was one of the critiques I had throughout the show, was maybe that the audio mic, like people doing lives, particularly rappers who move around a lot on stage, the audio wasn't reading that well. So maybe that is why she was mic'd, because the sound wasn't great for all that movement while trying to rap. The baby came out with the headpiece, and he was going in and out, and there was another performance, I don't remember who, and it just kind of felt like the sound wasn't giving it. I think it might have been Gunna or one of the other babies, Lil Baby. It might have been Little Baby. And then the mic wasn't giving him his justice. But you know, Cardi is a lip syncing rapper, and she shakes the ass in the right direction with the right costumes, that I still enjoy the performances, even if I don't actually like. I mean, actually, I just think maybe I like that Money, when she did the Money performance at the Grammy so much, and I'm just like, girl, okay, sure. MC Lyte is like the professional black people show announcer. I'm not mad at it. Regina Hall did a really good job hosting. I really loved that opening with the ode to DC. I didn't know that she was from DC. Maybe I don't follow her enough, but it makes sense why her and Taraji are so close, because Taraji is also from DC. But that whole don't mute DC, the love and the shout out to Go-Go, I'm not a Go-Go fan at all, sis. But you can't mute Go-Go, because that is so, I wouldn't move to DC and then be mad that they play Go-Go. I love the celebration of blackness, and that they really leaned into that, and they leaned into the celebration of Washington DC and the chocolate city. Some of the gentrification jokes didn't really land for me. I think Regina Hall always accepts a problematic line or two. She did that problematic line a little with a transgender child, and I guess we're just bringing that in here. But shout out to Doing the Butt and the main guy not knowing the words. Somebody couldn't tap him and be like, brother, start on time here. But I loved what that meant for an ode to something that is authentically black and authentically black culture and black American culture, and giving it its nod in 2019. on the main stage. I really appreciated that. Billy Cyrus beating Miley to the BET Awards. I love Old Town Road. I love everything about Lil Nas X, but it is kind of interesting how open we are as black people to accepting the whites in, and I just don't feel like a black artist, as in Beyonce performing with the Dixie Chicks at the Country Music Awards last year, get as much of a warm welcome as we do when white people come into our spaces. So I'm not mad at it. I'm not telling you we should be rude or disrespectful. I didn't really get the whole Howard jokes because homeboy went to like Georgetown in Kentucky. He backwoods white, okay sis. He might even be Republican on low. I don't be knowing. You know, he could sing. He can play that guitar. He could sing. And him on Old Town Road knocked it up an extra notch. So the song don't even annoy me that much anymore. But I don't feel like I need to then like joke with him about being welcomed to the black community. No, you're not coming to the cookout, sir, but you're here and we're gonna let you be here. But HU, you know, sis. Now, I feel like BET was trolling us when they allowed Lil Baby to win an award, and the performance right after Lil Baby is Da Baby. Now, I heard of Lil Baby. I didn't know he was signed to QC. I wasn't paying him no mind. I knew there was a rapper named Lil Baby. I knew that much. I just didn't know what he looked like, what he sounded like. I didn't really care. But now I know, and it's like, okay, cool. But I know Da Baby because it's not Da Baby, it's my baby. And so like Jonathan Kirk on the low, like I don't understand. Is Da Baby fine? Can we discuss this? Cause my nigga is 5'8", and I really think it's the voice and the aura. And he came out in the dead of summer in LA in a turtleneck on, looking like a bodybuilder toy, okay? He got a lot of teeth in his mouth. Like I got all my teeth. He looked like he got all his teeth. But something about him is still like, some of it just makes you want to bring his lyrics to life with him. You know, vroom vroom, okay? I don't be knowing, but I be knowing. Da Baby did a lot of hopping around, but did they change the name of this song Suge to 21? Am I missing something here? Whatever, I like Da Baby, and I like that he really is a goon, and he really do be beating people up. But shout out to Da Baby for the Charlotte landscape. I was like, okay. I ain't even been here that long enough. I'm not repping the city. I just live here. I pay rent here. But I was like, okay, I think that's the sky view from West Charlotte. Am I from like BD4? Is that where you from? I don't be knowing, girl. Okay, I saw a lot of comments on Twitter about Justine Skye. I be lurking. I done deleted the app on my phone, but I still like log in when things are popping off. Justine Skye's outfit. Okay, so apparently there was a blue carpet for the walkway in honor of Nipsey Hussle. Now we all know, as Twitter pointed out, that Beyonce has said you can't light black girls in blue. Now I feel like, shout out to the director of photography for Moonlight and whoever worked with Barry Jenkins all the time, because black boys look blue in the moonlight. We done see how to, but like the problem with blue in general is it does make you look ashy. It is typically told, I took one lighting class at the Howard University, and I do remember that typically you do light people when you're doing full light. You want your lights for people with deeper skin tones to be warmer and more golden to bring out the richness of their hue. And so the lighting on the red carpet, because it was blue, and because blue is a very cool tone, is going to make you look ashy. And so there are pictures of Justine Skye on the blue carpet, and her knees look a little like less than moisturized. But actually, I think Justine looked great. I didn't mind the dress. I just wish she wore nude colored underwear. The black underwear kind of threw me off. I wish there was more of just that, like, that nude silhouette altogether. But Justine a badass bitch, and so I'm not really gonna knock it. Shout out to Marseille Martin for ever creating memes. I mean, she already getting paid off the memes. I don't even need to be worried about her and her cointage. But congratulations to her for being the best new star, and we all saved that little video for personal use. I'm the meme queen if you ever text me. I was kind of ambivalent about the whole Fantasia performance because sis ain't take off her shoes. She stayed perching them high heels, and I was like, this is not the Fantasia I know. We need to kick them heels off and get down and dirty. The song was giving me Q's juke joint vibes, but I am ready for this album. She said Brandy and Jasmine Sullivan are on it, and I'm like, I'm ready. My body is ready. I will be supporting. Yes. Cardi won Album of the Year. Okay, cool. I don't know. I didn't really care. Lizzo's performance. Lizzo, girl. There's just so many reasons I'm happy about the performance. One, she did a bomb job. I love her. I love her album. It's not really typically in my wheelhouse of like sonically where I go, but I can appreciate a good pop 80s feel every now and again, you know. Turn up is definitely a turn up that I'm here for. Past idea of representation, because, okay, so it's not simply about the representation that she gives, because I think a lot of this, you know, when everything's been commodified and consumerism and capitalism and all these isms, that we often, like, even the idea of like plus size women has somehow been skewed to be harmful to the general population, because it's still this idea of like having a hourglass silhouette, of having a very smooth, like no gut, no rolls, having proportions. Lizzo still eschews a lot of that. Like, she's a mainstream representation, and she doesn't feed into a lot of the more harmful, commodified ideas of body positivity. Like, she is truly happy with her body, with her booty, with her gut, with her titties, with all of it, and I'm happy for it, and I love that. The performance was bomb. It was like no way you wasn't feeling it. And what I like even more is that technically for an artist like Lizzo, is it Lizzo or Lizzo? Typically for an artist like her, she has a large gay audience, and she really doesn't have to go in for the black audience. And okay, for one, for an audience like her, and I think this is something that's happening with a lot of young black women artists in general, because I feel like this happens with No Name and like Tierra Whack, and artists who don't fit into a very over-sexualized finite box of like what sort of rap brings in a black audience. And I don't think that No Name or Tierra Whack or Lizzo don't have a black audience, but for whatever reason, when you go to their shows and their concerts, it is mostly gay white men or white people in general. They're not typically getting invited to be on these stages. And so I think it really says something for someone who's on an upshoot, who's already doing Jimmy Kimmel and the late night shows, and whose tour sold out in 9 minutes, that she doesn't have to be at the BET Awards. I'm happy that she came through and she did such a good show and she put so much thought into it. And also I'm happy that she was invited and came on the stage, because I feel like this opens her up to a whole new black audience who might not have been as aware of her. They do have a black audience, but because they're not really seen in a lot of the more on the nose mainstream things that black people pay attention to, like they're not on the Shade Room like that, their black audience has to be very like New York, Atlanta, like in cultural hub audiences. Because like I went to No Name show in Raleigh and it was all white people, and I was just kind of like, what is happening here in North Carolina? And I've been talking about doing a festival, like doing a show next year, and I keep telling people the artists I want to bring, and they were like, you realize it's going to be a really white audience. I think there's some dichotomy there to really dig into and unearth, but I was just, all that to say, I was really, really happy to see Sis and her flute. Made me want to go back to taking flute lessons, hitting them chords. I played the flute growing up, but I'm just so happy for her, and I'm happy for the diversity of representation that she represents, and that she put on a bomb ass show. And so I feel like a lot more people are going to be tuned into her now. It heightens her brand, and I love that that could happen on the BET stage, that talking specifically to a black audience rose her star and made her even more visible, and I love what that means. Lil Nas X also for being what people think is gonna be a one-hit wonder. I mean, people like Panini, and I guess the EP7 is doing all right, but I don't know if he's ever gonna have another song as big as Old Town Road. But that performance was hitting. I mean, everything about Lil Nas X, really, I'm gonna do a whole video about him. I love watching him. I can't be mad at the song. I mean, as much as I don't really care to hear the song all the time, I'm not mad. I was at like a game night the other night, and we was all drunk and drinking, and somebody started playing the song. They were just sitting there listening to it up in the ear, and I'm like, I mean, I'm not even like, girl, turn that off, but I'm not even mad at it, because the sort of joy he brings to young children, just how generally happy he comes across. So to City Girls performance, free JT, and then maybe a City Girls performance will actually be something to speak positively about, because, and I follow Young Miami on Instagram. I think Carisha is a beautiful Oopalaka scamming ass Miami type chick in general, the Brownlees. Sis raps like she's bored. She rapped like, I'ma get this bag by just showing up, so here I showed up. And I get it. I get when she talks about having a lot of anxiety and being nervous, and that she never really went into this to be having to do this on her own. But I feel like JT done been locked up with the feds for about 8 months now, sis. You making a lot of money. You have a stage full of backup dancers. You have a whole team behind you. I just feel like at some point, some of that had like absolve and realize that you gotta step it up. I don't know, like, can Cardi not talk to you? I don't know what's happening, because I do feel like what's gonna happen is JT's gonna get out and JT's gonna carry the show, and it's not really going to alleviate any of the negativity that is pointed at at Carisha. Now, I do think a lot of the negativity that Carisha gets is because of the way that we degrade particularly Southern and particularly economically disadvantaged and poor Black women. And I mean, she's no longer poor. She's in a whole nother tax bracket that I aspire to reach. You know, the way we talk about her speech, the way we talk about whatever. Some of that I think is very like, is ingrained anti-Blackness that the Black community holds on to. Because in order to survive as an oppressed people, you have to admire the oppressor in some frame. And so I think that's part of the oppressor that we've absorbed. I do think the criticisms about how her performanceship, I don't find them to be invalid. Sis showed up. She showed up. And that's the vibe I get. I showed up. Let me just throw my ass back one time. Bloop. Okay, act up. You can get snatched up. Period. Whoever is handling Cardi and like her stage presence and her setup, can y'all give like the rest of the QC artists like maybe 15% of that? You know what I mean? Y'all got the money for it. Y'all can do it. Saw a lot of famous The Shade Room commenters in the audience. I don't even follow Shade Room. I be lurking like once every other day, just catching up on random shit. I know Milan Christopher is on every post commenting with his big ass teeth, and I seen him in the audience. Her performance is like, how many instruments does her play? Sis just coming out with some new shit, and I'm like, why my fingers in my mind working? Then why can't I sing like that? Ooh, bitch, I want to sing too. I want to carry a tune. All I know about the YBN collective is that one funky looking Negro that got a song with Kanye is in jail for killing two other people within that collective. So I don't get why all the youths is calling themselves YBN. But this little light-skinned nigga, that rap with her with a little plaster in his head, I was feeling that. Okay, but let me not skip over the fact that the Central Park 5 came out, and I'm gonna do a review on When They See Us. Because I know my reviews are late as F at this point, and I still need to review a bunch of things, I'm gonna do a week of late ass reviews. It's a lot for me to research stuff and get everything down, and I have scripted When They See Us, but it was just like so many things to say, and it's just taking me so long. But like all the love for Corey Wise, like all the love for them coming out, and like Corey just being so happy. I'm gonna get into this a little bit later about Black exceptionalism. I think what Ava DuVernay did with their story and what their story really represents and what it brings home for a lot of us, I'm really happy for them, and I really hope that we understand that we need to abolish the entire criminal justice system, okay? Boo! And her giving love to both Sudan and the crisis happening over there. But shout out to her giving that representation, and also the Nipsey Blue. At Mary J. Blige, did Mary come out and do like a 20-minute set? I just felt like all my middle school, high school life was gotten. The aunties were on stage. Lil' Kim even looked good. Everything looked good. You know, like it was just a really good performance. I would have loved to be in the audience for that, but she did that. I loved the whole process of that. Having Rihanna come out and give her the award, the love they showed each other, the graciousness. I love what Mary spoke about, and I just love that Mary J. Blige to my era means a lot to us. And to see her still thriving and still be great and still bringing down the house, and everyone in the audience singing along. I mean, some people ain't know the words, but the right people, enough of the right people knew the words, and so I was happy to see that. And Cardi rapping Lil' Kim lyrics, Shay, Nicki Minaj fans gonna be mad, but whatever, sis. It was great. It was dope. Done played it back 2-3 times myself. You know, share my world, sis. Don't ever leave. Ella Mai won the Viewer's Choice Award, and sis really thought she said something, but I've been to an Ella Mai concert. I ain't paid for the ticket, but I couldn't be upset at the fact that like her repertoire, her body of work is not hitting. It's not. I'm gonna come back to the Tyler Perry, because I'm going in order what happened. Of the Tyler Perry Award and his speech, Kirk Franklin and his tight medium fit. Sir, we can let your balls breathe just a smidge. It's okay. We know you've been working out, but you know, another critique I would give the show is the John Singleton tribute was lackluster at best. They could have done way more, and I felt like with some of the people that passed away, Roy Hargrove, Nancy Wilson, there were a few others that were part of like the canyon of Black music, which is the foundational canyon of jazz music, the foundational canyon of Black music, which is jazz and folk music. I felt like there could have been some sort of like medley or like live show performance that had some of the younger artists performing these in memoriam, these black artists who've passed away this year, because Nancy Wilson and, as I said, Roy Hargrove are part of the Black Canyon of black music. And I just felt like it would have been appropriate, apropos, but BET lost that chance there, so that's that on that. Now to get to Tyler Perry. I don't disagree with the message of build the table, build your own table, because I have done a whole video saying that exact same thing. My issue with Tyler is that I feel like he is very self-serving. And even within that speech and the little video montage I did beforehand, he said something, and I just watched, so there's a documentary, a Toni Morrison documentary that's in theaters currently, and I got the screener for it, so I watched it at home the other day. And I was just sitting there, and they're talking about how Toni, her first book, I believe, was The Bluest Eye, or her first popular book was The Bluest Eye. And Toni says how she wrote that for black girls, that she did not see black women being spoken to, that books were constantly being written for the white gaze. And that, like, she talked about like Frederick Douglass, right? She said she read that, and she said these are great writers, but they were always writing for the white gaze, and she understood the times and the precedence of that and what it meant for them and their survival. But she wanted to write a book for black people, black culture, particularly black women, without the white gaze. And I've read other books but I feel like maybe we've gotten back into this doing thing for the white gaze, particularly in literature, but that's another topic for another day. And so she touched the line, but she was doing this for black women. And I had just watched that before I watched the BET Awards. And so when Tyler Perry says he's doing this for black women, I'm just like, how? I'm not mad at Tyler Perry's success. I'm not particularly a fan of the Medea franchise, but I have never gotten on here and railed against black folks who find joy and who enjoy Tyler Perry's work. It's not my cup of tea, but I understand why other people like it. I'm not mad at his success. I'm not mad that he's become, you know, a powerhouse and that they are acknowledging him and all the work he's done. And I'm not even mad at his message of build the table, because I do believe that Tyler Perry did in fact build his own table, and he's a lesson in the words that he is speaking. But I don't think that his table is welcoming to the black community. I do not believe that anything Tyler Perry has done has been for the betterment of the black community, and not because of necessarily the content of his work, even though his storylines consistently rely on correcting black women, eschewing black women to be what he believes they should be, right? It is always that the successful, financially wealthy black woman ends up with the ancient Negro, gets HIV, her husband is gay. There's always some very misogynistic, homophobic, stereotypical tropes that exist throughout Tyler Perry's body of work. But I can let that go, except for I ain't never gonna forgive for color girls who consider Suicide When the Rainbow is enough. Because what you're not fitting to do is F up something that means so much to so many black women, and then you put Janet Jackson in it and give her character HIV. You made Lady in Red the most wealthiest character in the film, and then put yourself in the film, and it just nothing about his rendition of For Color Girls read to me in the same way that Ntazaki's actual, and I mean, how do you take her words and then strip away the womanness from that? Let Tyler Perry produce it. But to get to the point of his speech, yo, if you found joy in his speech, if it's inspiring you, if it's pushing you, like, I love it and I'm happy for it. But I just feel in my heart of hearts when he did that presentation and he got there and spoke, that everyone who either he talked about, Cecily Tyson, Sidney Poitier, or that was featured in the video montage, they were all people that were successful without Tyler Perry. And so what Tyler Perry has essentially done is build a table that uplifted himself to get into the room with these other powerful people. And he's talking about reviving the career of 90-something-year-old Cecily Tyson. He's talking about naming a building after Sidney Poitier, how you say it, but we don't know who his showrunners are. Black women directors are putting in more visible work, in that I can tell you who works on Insecure. Like, I know a lot of names of people, and I see them being shouted out, and I see Issa Rae bringing them along and uplifting them. I know now different roles. I know director of photography, I know a showrunner, I know all these other pieces of the puzzle that go into producing a show, because with Queen Sugar, Ava DuVernay makes sure that the production team is largely black women, and then does a recap of every episode featuring these black women who worked on the episode. Again, when she works on her projects, whether it's Selma or When They See Us, what was the other one she recently did? Yeah, but she's really good for shouting out, including and making sure, like, I know that she does Array. I know how to, if I was in the film, I know how to sign up. I know how to apply for an internship. I know how to apply for a fellowship. Like, I know how to get in, and I know how to access a table that both Issa and Ava have created. Lena, and even all the drama that's happening with the Shy and the sexual harassment charges, and I don't think she handled that well at all. But Lena is another one who does shout out the people who she hires and make sure that she's hiring other black women and black queer folk to be a part of her production and making it accessible. I've been able to interview Lena on my YouTube channel. I've seen Lena, I saw her at the NAACP Image Awards, and I was able to go up, talk to her, have a conversation, like, accessible. Issa has been accessible. You know, even like Ava and her star is accessible for us to go up and talk to and actually like get access to, maybe not her head table, but the tables that she's built around her to allow for, make room for other black filmmakers and people in the film and TV industry. I can't say that for Tyler. And I appreciate that he's built this whole set. I'm sure he employs a ton of black folk, but the stories that have come out about working at Tyler Perry Studios, your ability to like rub knees and hobnob with Oprah and Gail and Cecily and all the all black folks is cool. It doesn't trickle down to the community. And I'm saying this because I just want to caution us. By all means, be inspired by that speech. I do think he gave an inspiring speech. I just don't believe that he puts those inspiring words into praxis, and that he has been notoriously not accessible to the larger black community as far as people that want to get into film and TV and really get in and make it successfully. But I always just want to caution us against black exceptionalism, against this idea that individuals becoming wealthy benefits the community, because capitalism is never going to be what liberates the black community. And so that doesn't mean that you can't be inspired by these speeches. It can't mean that there can't be truth in the things he's saying and preaching, but it does just remind us to be cautious, because all this builds into a larger brand. All this builds into a large celebration of the individual, and oftentimes, like this individual in particular, you know, I think he got a deal with BET, and he shouted that out a whole lot about his deal with BET. Tyler Perry's like one of the people that exceptionally highlights how much the individual success really doesn't trickle down to the rest of us, because the stories have been bad. And that is that on that. That was my thoughts. I don't even know if this was even worth it. If people gonna watch this, I'm gonna try to edit this while I'm in Atlanta working and getting stuff done. But I got to go. I got to pack. I got to be out the house. Oh, thank y'all for watching. And if you're new here, subscribe. I hope you commented along. I hope you gave me all your feedback, all your thoughts. What did I miss? What did I forget to talk about? What am I late on? If there's something you would like me to review, also leave it down in the comments below. And thank you for sticking around. And I'll holla. Deuces. Subscribe.